With age verification for Retail Management Hero, you can configure the software to customize the age validation workflow to your needs. The software allows you to define age restriction rules based on department and category. For example, we can create validation rules for alcohol and tobacco, then select specific categories within them that require age verification, like wine, beer, or liquor. In this scenario, we'll designate all categories within both departments. We can also set minimum age requirements. Here, we'll specify that all items in the selected departments and categories require a minimum age of 21. The configuration includes a readily accessible list of your departments for easy reference. The verification rules show the list of rules you have configured for age verification. Here you will designate which validation type you prefer. The Disallow User Input option prevents cashiers from manually entering dates, forcing them to scan ID barcodes for accurate age verification. Here you can adjust the barcode scanner speed based on your scanner's capabilities and your computer processing power. The session variables setting relates to how age verification information is handled within receipts. The software offers 3 options for triggering age verification during the sale process. Using the default validation setting, when an item requiring age verification is scanned, the transaction prompts the cashier to enter the purchaser's information through the age verification window. For upfront validation, this option requires age verification at the very beginning of every new transaction, ideal for stores selling only age-restricted items. When using on-demand validation, this option adds a custom POS button to the point of sale window, allowing cashiers to initiate age verification at any point during the sale process. Now let's walk through a sample of each transaction type to see how these settings work in action. Let's review how age verification works with the default validation option enabled. In a typical transaction, the system prompts for age verification the moment a cashier scans or enters an item belonging to an age-restricted department or category. For example, let's add beer to the transaction. As soon as this restricted item is added, the age verification pop-up window appears. The cashier must then enter the customer's birth date manually or scan the customer's valid ID barcode. If a valid date is confirmed through either method, the beer is successfully added to the transaction. However, if a valid date is not provided, the system automatically removes the restricted item from the sale. Once the age verification process is complete, the cashier can proceed with tendering and finalizing the transaction. Upon reviewing the receipt journal, you'll notice that the verified date is logged for the transaction and appears on the printed receipt, ensuring accurate record keeping. Upfront validation takes a stricter approach. When configured, the software automatically prompts for age verification at the very beginning of every transaction. Let's see it in action. We open the POS and start a new transaction. The upfront validation immediately triggers the age verification pop-up. Once a valid date is entered, the cashier can then add age-restricted items to the transaction and proceed with the sale. Notice how the age verification pops up again to initiate the next transaction. If the cashier cancels the age verification prompt and tries to add items, the system prevents the transaction from proceeding as the customer hasn't been verified. We intentionally cancel the verification to showcase this scenario. Adding a beer triggers the error message, informing the cashier to restart the POS and reinitiate the transaction and age verification for upfront validation. On-demand verification offers more flexibility. With this option enabled, a custom button appears on the POS screen. Unlike default validation, age verification prompts won't automatically pop up for restricted items. Here's how it works. We'll add an item to the sale, no age verification prompt yet. The cashier manually presses the age verification button. The verification window appears, prompting for a valid date entry. Once a valid date is confirmed, the cashier can proceed with tendering the sale. The final receipt can be configured to display the verified date for record-keeping purposes. Age verification for RMH lets you breathe easy, knowing your cashiers are following every regulation for age-restricted products. No more worries about compliance. Head over to our website and connect with our team today. You can download and get started with a free trial of age verification, and you'll see how this fantastic RMH extension from New West Technologies can transform your checkout experience. Don't wait, ensure compliance, and empower your cashiers with age verification for RMH.